So I'm not really a gamer, but sometimes I find myself in the mood to play this game called Survive.io. For those of you who may have never heard of it, it's basically this 2D battle royale game that you play on your browser. You can play solo, duo, or squad mode, and the objective is to get weapons and kill your opponents. I've enjoyed the simplicity of the design and played this for years now, but by no means am I a pro at this game, mostly because my hands are too slow. So I made something to help me deal with that issue. You see, there are different types of throwables that are available to the player, and they can be very useful in combat. But the problem for me is that I have to first equip myself with the item, launch it, and then quickly switch back to my gun, which is very difficult for me to pull off in the middle of a shootout. So I wanted a button that would prepare the throwable in my hands when pressed, and then have it launch and immediately re-equip me with my gun once released. And since both my hands are busy on the mouse and keyboard, I want to be able to control it with my foot, just like a pedal. To make this work, data has to be sent from the pedal to my computer whenever the button is pressed, and there has to be a program on my computer that will receive that data and appropriately control the keyboard and mouse functions. I used an Arduino Uno to send the data over USB, and then I wrote a Python program to listen to it and then execute the proper moves with the help of the PyAutoGUI library. If you're not familiar with Arduino, there's a whole series made by Jeremy Blum, which I'll link to somewhere. And for Python tutorials, you can check out pythonprogramming.net. But anyways, let's get into the build. I started off with a pizza box as the base where I could put all the electronics. I then used a piece of cardboard slightly larger than my foot as the pedal and traced out its location on the box. After that, I marked the spot where the button would go, making sure that the button and hinge were on opposite sides. I cut small holes in the box for the button, soldered some wire to the pins, and secured it in place on top. Inside, I traced out the spot where the Arduino would sit so that the USB port could be accessed from the side. I then quickly assembled a simple circuit where pin 8 on the Arduino would be connected to one side of the button. Here's a schematic of that circuit. As you can see, I was using a 1 mega ohm resistor, which is slight overkill, but this was the easiest for me to find. You could probably get away with a couple kilo ohms. Also note that the power is supplied by the 5-volt and ground pins on the Arduino. With the circuit complete, I cut holes for the USB, secured the Arduino in place, closed the box, and taped the piece of cardboard over the button. I wrote some code, uploaded it to the Arduino, and then created this Python program to run on my computer. All the code is on my GitHub page, which I've provided a link to in the description. One thing to note is that I've set the serial listener to listen to COM port 3, which is where my Arduino is when connected. But that may not be the case for you guys, so if you make this, check what COM port your Arduino is on and set this parameter accordingly. There's probably a way to automatically detect your Arduino's port, and once I figure it out, I'll update it on GitHub. But for now, all you need to know is that this program will receive a P from the Arduino when the button is pressed and an R when it's released. If the button is pressed, the throw function is called, which will equip the throwable by pressing 4 and then hold the mouse down. Then, when an R is received, the mouse is released and the 1 key is pressed to equip my main gun. And that's all there is to it. At this point, you can test it out to make sure it works. As you can see in this game, while I'm shooting, I can hit the pedal to throw the grenade and then quickly switch back to my gun. Now, admittedly, this isn't the prettiest looking pedal since it basically appears to be a piece of cardboard taped on top of a cardboard box. So if you want to make it look nicer, you can spray paint it or try using different materials. But that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks everyone for watching and I'll see you next time.